Hello guys, welcome to another video of mine. Now this one is important. If you are really struggling with IELTS Writing Task 2 and you don't know what to do, then you must watch this video. And this one is actually the second part. So if you have missed the first video, which is the first part of this one, you should watch that one as well. Because in this series, we are actually looking at the Real IELTS Examiner comments and we are deducing all our tips from the Real IELTS Examiner comments on how to get a band 7 or higher. So what things we should do or how our essay should be in order to get a band 7 or higher. And this is according to the Real IELTS examiners. Yes, guys. Okay. So if you haven't watched that one, I will put the link below as well. So let's get started. So first, let's look at what the Real IELTS examiner said about this aspect. Okay. So one of the examiner was checking somebody's paper and they wrote this. Main ideas are relevant but are insufficiently developed. Now, this one is the comment straight from the Real IELTS examiner. Now, what can we learn or what tips can we deduce from this examiner's comment so that we can get a band 7 or higher? So there are two things that we can learn. First part is the main ideas should be relevant. Okay, this is really important. And the second tip that we should follow in order to get a band 7 or higher in the task 2, in the IELTS writing task 2, is that our main ideas should be fully developed. Now, if you're kind of confused, what does those mean? Don't worry, because we'll look at both of these things in a little bit detail and with some examples as well so that you can understand. Okay? So, the first one, what does it really mean? Like, when the Real IELTS examiner said that the ideas should be relevant, what does that really mean? It means that the main ideas should be fully connected to the question that is being asked. Or in other words, in simpler terms, it means please don't go off the topic. Okay, stick to what you are being asked. And also be very specific, okay, to what is being asked. You should only answer that. Now I'm going to give you an example to make sure that you understand this thing. Let's say you get this question, okay? The percentage of overweight children in Western society has increased by almost 20% in the last 10 years. Discuss the causes and the effects of this disturbing trend. So, when you read this question, the first thing we notice is it is a cause and an effect essay, right? So, the main thing that we are focusing on is how to think of relevant ideas. We know that we are under a lot of time pressure in the exam, so how can we do that? Now, I am going to give you a tip. It's something that I did in my exam, okay? And I got a 7.5 in the IELTS writing. So I'm going to share that tip with you guys. And guys, trust me, this is a life-saving tip when it comes to IELTS writing task 2. So let's look at what it is. Okay, now the trick is, or the tip is, in order to make sure that you actually think of the relevant ideas, and that's what the examiner wants, you have to learn how to spot the keywords, the main words in the question. Okay, and if you can do that, if you can spot the keywords, then it's very likely that you will think of the relevant ideas and you will stick to the topic. You will stay on the topic that is being discussed or that you have to write about. Okay, so let's look at the example. So as the question was, the percentage of overweight children in Western society has increased by almost 20% in the last 10 years. Discuss the causes and effects of this disturbing trend. Now, if you look at the screen, you can see that I have highlighted that in red, okay, and I've also underlined overweight children, okay, and Western society. Now, this is very important, guys, because this tells us what we should actually write about. Okay, now we know the general topic of this question is obesity, okay, and we all know that we know a lot about obesity, right? Because it's all over the news. It's a very pressing situation as well, so we all know about it, okay? But are we going to talk about obesity in general? No, not at all. Okay, Are we going to talk about the whole population, about obesity in elderly or obesity in adults? No, not at all. That's going to be wrong. Okay, so we are only interested in one particular age group according to the question. We have to focus and we have to think of the ideas that tell us about overweight children. Okay, so we are not talking about the whole population. We are not going to talk about adults. We are not going to talk about elderly. We are just going to think about children. So the second part is the Western society. Okay, now this means that you're not going to write what is happening about obesity or obese children in Asian countries. Okay, remember that your ideas should be relevant and specific to the question being asked. Okay, please don't write about generally about the topic. Okay, the general topic for this question is obesity. Okay, but in order to make sure that you think of the relevant ideas and specific ideas, okay, and to make sure that you stay on the topic, okay, this is very important. And in order to do this, this is the trick that you can use. Okay, this is my tip, that you should spot the keywords in the questions. Okay, as we have done in this question. Now let's look at the next one. The second tip that we can deduce from the examiner's comment is to develop our ideas fully. Okay, now this is also very important aspect, guys. Now what many people do is that when they get a question, they've got so many ideas. Okay, they've got a whole list of ideas, maybe 3-4 ideas. But sorry guys, this is not going to get you a good mark. Okay, in order to get a band 7 or higher, okay, it's very important that you actually develop your ideas. Okay, and in order to explain to you guys, okay, we're going to look at an example. Okay, let's say you get this question in your exam. Increase in car ownership is the main factor contributing to global warming. Do you agree or disagree? So it's an agree-disagree question, first of all. We know that. Secondly, we have been given a statement, and the statement is that the increase in car ownership or increase in the number of cars, right, it is contributing to global warming. Do you agree with it that yes, this is the case, or you don't think so? Okay, now for the purposes of explaining to you guys, let's say that you agree with it. Okay, so you say that yes, increase in car ownership or increase in the number of cars is the leading factor leading to global warming. Okay, now you have to give a reason, guys. Now this is very important. When you say anything in the IELTS exam, okay, you have to give a reason. So if you're agreeing with the statement, okay, and you say that yes, increase in car ownership is the main factor that contributes to global warming, okay, if you're agreeing, you give your reason, okay, you give your main idea, okay, why you say that. Okay, so let's say we say that and we say because that yes, increase in car ownership is the leading factor leading to global warming since it increases the emission of greenhouse gases. This is our main reason, this is our main idea. Okay, and that is why we believe that, right? Now, this is not all, okay? Just stating your main idea is not everything, okay? You need to do something more in order to get the band 7 or higher. Now let's see what we have to do. So we already said it that yes, we agree because it increases the emission of greenhouse gases. This is our main idea. But the main thing that we have to focus in the IELTS writing exam is how can we develop this main idea, okay? Now, what we have to do for that? We need to explain exactly, okay? We have to describe our point, our main idea in simpler words, okay? And now I'm going to tell you something, guys, that is going to be life-saving for you guys, and actually it works, guys. Okay, I did that and that's how I got a 7.5 in the IELTS writing. Okay, you have to imagine that the examiner doesn't know anything about the topic. I know this is ridiculous, right? But you have to do that. Okay, The reason is because when you think like that, then you will explain each and every single thing, okay? And that shows to the IELTS examiner that yes, you can put your message across, you can communicate, you can write effectively, and that's what they're marking you on, okay? So think that the examiner doesn't know anything about the topic, okay? So every idea that you put on the paper, you need to explain that, okay? And that is what we call developing the ideas, okay? That's what the examiner meant when they wrote that you should develop your main ideas. Okay, now let's look at it a little bit more detail. So since we said that yes, the number of cars is the leading cause of global warming because it increases the emission of greenhouse gases. Now you need to explain the link between these things. Okay, how does the increase in cars, okay, or in the number of car ownership is actually leading to greater emission of greenhouse gases? How's that? I know it's very simple, right? But you need to put that on the paper because remember, the examiner can only mark you on what you write on the paper, not what is in your mind, okay? So how do we write it? How do we explain this idea? This is how we do it. We write something like this. Increase in cars lead to a greater emission of greenhouse gases. Since there are more cars on the road, this means that a greater amount of fuel is being burned, which leads to a greater production of carbon dioxide. Okay, so we have explained the link that how the increase in number of cars is leading to actually more greenhouse gases. Okay, the next, we need to explain, we need to link it back to the question of global warming. Okay, so okay, fine, that we now the examiner understood that if there are more cars, okay, then more fuel is being burnt, and if more fuel is being burned, that will lead to more carbon dioxide gas, right, which is a greenhouse gas. So what? How can carbon dioxide, how is carbon dioxide or the levels of carbon dioxide linked to the global warming? That was our question. Okay, so we have to link each and everything back to the question. Okay, so now the next link that we have to explain is between carbon dioxide levels or increased levels of carbon dioxide and the global warming. Okay, so let's look at how do we do it. Now, how does carbon dioxide from cars or from a lot of cars is leading to the global warming, right? That's what we have to explain. So we write something like this. Since carbon dioxide is a greenhouse gas, it essentially traps the heat from the atmosphere, which leads to global warming. Can you see what we did, guys? We have explained each and every single thing. So, increase in cars, increase in the number of cars or car ownership, we said that is leading to a greater emission of carbon dioxide, okay? That was the first link that we explained, okay? So then second link that we explained to the examiner was, how does a greater production of carbon dioxide from the cars is leading to global warming? And that is because we wrote that because carbon dioxide is a greenhouse gas, it essentially traps the heat from the atmosphere, and if the heat is being trapped and is not going anywhere, that obviously leads to rising temperatures, that is the global warming. So we linked each and every, literally went from number of cars or increase in the number of cars to global warming. So we are explaining each and every link. And guys, this is the trick. If you really want to get a band 7 or higher, you have to do this. Whatever idea you pick, okay, it's better to pick 1 or 2 ideas and explain them fully. There is no mark, okay? You're not going to get a good mark if you just list the ideas and never explain it, okay? Because remember, the main idea should be fully explained, okay? And don't assume that the examiner understands. Now, this question that we just looked at, right? This was very simple, okay? Like why the increase from carbon dioxide is leading to, like, global temperature, right? Everybody knows this, that carbon dioxide is a greenhouse gas and it traps the atmosphere. It traps in the atmosphere and that leads to increasing temperatures and global warming, right? But guys, just assume. Remember, the examiner doesn't know anything, okay? Just remember that. He can only read whatever you write on the paper, Okay, so make sure that you explain every idea that you put on the paper in favor of whatever. If it's an agree or a disagree question, and if you're agreeing, then you give the reasons, you give your main ideas why you agree with it, and then you explain those ideas just like how I explained to you with this question. Okay, and remember, just assume that the reader or the examiner has no specialist knowledge about the topic. Okay, this is very, very important. Okay, guys, and this is the tip that you should learn from here. Okay, guys, this was all for today. I hope you liked it. I hope you found it useful. If you're new to my channel and you're preparing for IELTS, please subscribe to my channel so that you can actually look at all the other videos as well. Okay, and it will obviously benefit you. Okay, and in these videos, I actually share, because I got a band 8.5 overall in the academic IELTS. So I've made a lot of videos where I share the tips and the things that I did to get such a high score, and I'm sure it will benefit you. Also, guys, if you know anybody else, okay, your friends or anybody who's preparing for the IELTS exam for whatever purpose, please feel free to share this video. Okay, you can do it on Facebook, on whatever, like, whichever medium it is, but it will really benefit. So do that. And if you're new to my channel, please don't forget to subscribe. Okay, so thanks a lot for watching, and good luck for your exam preparation. And remember, guys, stay positive. I know it's very easy to just think of the negative thing and think that you can't do it. Okay, but remember, hard work always pays. Okay, it always pays. So stay positive and do your best and prepare well for it. See you then. Bye bye.